YouTube, you know the motto. If you can, after the story, go over there, hit me with a like, which is just thumbs up, and that'll let me know I'm kicking my stuff. This right here, I got the big homeboy on the line, and today is his day to have a platform. So go ahead, big homeboy, take the floor.
All right, first off, I want to introduce myself. My name is Big DJ from Sport. Today, I want to talk about the thing that's the disease that's running around our communities. And that disease is people taking advantage of our so-called homies and so-called homegirls. Now, the disease starts with people molesting kids and raping them. And in the process of people taking advantage of these kids in our community, these kids grow up to become our little homies, our little homegirls. And when they grow up into that process, they trust those people around them. That's the purpose of them start gang banging and stuff like that. But sometimes the things that happen to them as a kid kind of disturbs them. And when it disturbs them, it stops them from growing to their full potential. The perfect example is like, I done had a few little homies that when we go to talk to girls, they be kind of scared to talk to women. And I used to wonder, like, what's wrong with them?
Right.
You know what I mean? And they done told me stories like when they was little, they big sisters used to clown them about their private parts, tell them they thing too small and stuff like that. And it caused them to have a mental breakdown to the point where they're scared to get naked in front of another woman or around the homies or, have sex in the crowd because of what's been told to them, what's been planted in their head. And then you had some kids, boys, I'm speaking on right now, that done had like big homegirls, get them home and get them drunk and they passed out and they be them, took their little stuff from them and stuff and have them like kind of discombobulated. And sometimes to the girls, the older girls, they think this is funny. But at the same time, you scarring the homie because there's only two ways the situation will go. When you scar the homie, either he gonna grow up hating women and start doing crimes against women, or you gonna have him turned out to where he gonna want to do anything for you. And that process, sometimes the homegirls will have him doing the dirty work. Like a big homeboy might have raped a homegirl back in the days, or he might have slapped her, told her she wasn't shit, and she be holding on to that grudge. So now she got this youngster, even eager to prove himself. She'll tell him the story, and based on he eager to prove himself, he might go kill the homie based on what she said and get life. And she going about her life, and he's sitting in jail for the rest of his life because he fell in love with a girl that was too old for him in the first place and was mentally abusing him, as well as having sex with him knowing he's underage. He's 35 and he only 13.
And you didn't seen that shit happen before, or heard of it happening?
Oh yeah, it happens. It happens every day. I know a few people that this has happened to.
Right.
I even got a home girl. I'm not gonna say her name, but I got a home girl. Every time she messes with somebody, the dude gets shot or something. Something always happens to him. Either something happened to him or he be done shot somebody behind him. So growing up, we was kids, so I used to think, because she older than me, I used to think like, shit, she must have.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I used to think like she got some bomb shit between her legs. She got cats doing like that. Every time we turn around, we going to a funeral, and there's one of her boyfriends,
Right.
So
right.
growing up, that taught me to stay away from her. I was like, she got some voodoo.
Right. So by you sharing this, what message are you hoping to get out?
Well, what I'm hoping to get out is, I'm hoping that I'm not gonna say who did what when we was growing up. All I'm hoping is that we change the trajectory in our community, because there's too many of us blacks in prison as it is. Too many blacks, too many Mexicans up in these prisons. And most of us, whether they admit it or not, at least 80% of dudes that I know that have been gangbanging, I done talked to a lot of dudes again. A lot of dudes in here have been raped when they was kids, raped or molested. Still the same thing. And I'm hoping that if we change that trajectory in our community, we'll change the way little boys and little girls think when they're coming up. We don't have homies doing stuff like, for example, when I was going to school, I used to have older homies that used to act like they wanted to kick it with me. But really they was kicking it with me because a lot of the young girls used to kick it with me. They thought I was funny and liked to have fun, so they used to hang with us. And the homies would come with their low riders and, yeah, man, y'all shouldn't be walking and whoop-to-whoop. But yet, when it's time to come home from school, they drop us off first, and the girls, they just let them through us. They take them somewhere else. And these girls get them fall in love with what they see instead of taking their time, slowing their road and trying to earn they keep in the world. They end up messing with the homie, and he ends up, pulling something on them, and next thing you know, she a prostitute before she even get legal. She don't even know it. She thinking that she got the best stuff in the world, but not knowing she being used. You done been turned down to a prostitute. By the time she get 18 or 19, she got 4 kids, all them different baby daddies by homies from the hood. And now she can't get no boyfriend because every time she get a boyfriend, all her baby daddies is homies or dudes that's thugs, and each one of them running dudes off. So her life never be complete.
And this the hood life of it.
Exactly. This is just in the hood. This ain't even the worldwide scale. This is just in the hood. This will be going on.
But not to cut you off, big homie. We all in the hood, homies, homegirls, possibly play parts in some of this shit.
Exactly. And a lot of people play a part in it, even including myself. I played a part in it. I didn't play a part in it willingly, but I played a part in it.
Right. It wasn't nothing we signed up for, but this was part of the thing. Yeah.
Right. And then, like I said, I played a part in it because I was naive, and I used to walk girls to their death trap. They didn't even know it, and I didn't know it. I used to just be hanging with them, and the homie pull up and be like, man, who is that? Who's whooping? I try to sort him up, like tell the homegirl, like, nah, man, he too old. He 40, he got a wife and this and that. And they be like, oh, I ain't tripping, I'm just juicy. And next thing you know, they get to messing with him. I see him on drugs and smoked out, selling themselves, and I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? Looking like my generation compared to your generation. My generation right now, I'm gonna say it was at least 200 of us growing up, went to the same school and everything. Out of that 200, it's bad to say it, but only probably like 50 doing good. What I mean by doing good, that 50 still free, never been to prison. They might be struggling, but they paying their bills and stuff like that, you know what I mean? They making it. Everybody else either got on drugs, then got killed, or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's something that need to be fixed out of that rotation. And we starting right there with that because everything else, we already know what the problem is, but that's one of the major problems in the neighborhoods.
So you saying that from us coming up from a youth, going through neglect, physical trauma, abuse trauma, some of us grow up and develop these ways and don't even realize it, homie.
Right. And it really does happen, man, because
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Like I said, I done talked to many of my homegirls, not just from my neighborhood, but from all different kinds of communities. And I used to talk to them real, try to get in their business, try to get to know them. And man, when they tell me like about how they got gang banged on and stuff like that, some of that stuff used to hurt my heart hearing it, because I'd be like, damn, where did we get off doing that at? I was always taught that was wrong, raping girls, you know what I mean?
But then a lot of homies back then, not to cut you off, a lot of homies didn't think some of that shit was rape, homie. Motherfuckers didn't think that, 4, 5 homies then hit the homegirl off some night train or some drink or a regular civilian female. Some of us, our homies, might have thought that shit was just some useful laughter type shit. Do you agree that went out of content at some stages?
No, really. See, the real reason, I'm going to tell you why people think like that. Homies, the reason they don't know they wrong is because some homies grew up, they seen it. Just like an example, if a dude grew up seeing his dad beat his mama up all the time, and his mama never called the police or nothing, she just go in there and clean up and go back to doing what she do. What kind of image does that set for that dude? He gonna grow up thinking he's supposed to chastise this woman through beating her. You know what I mean?
So like you say, it's
look at it in the neighborhood.
Right.
You got to look at in our community. You got homegirls that they know right from wrong, but they think it's cool. They try to be popular too fast, and they know the homie OG. They know the homie O. It's beard gray. But they look at it like, shit, I get with him, he solved all my problems. You know what I mean? And when they be doing this willingly, once their life is fucked up, that's when they realize they was taken advantage of. Right. They don't be really knowing it. It's the same thing with the young homie. A little boy, you could give a 10-year-old a naked woman, a grown naked woman. I guarantee you he going to try to find her and see what's going on. He's going to try to figure it out, you know what I mean, because she's standing there naked. If she don't pop him and tell him he ain't supposed to look at her, or if she don't get undressed in front of him, he not going to know no better.
But it goes both.
He going to think it's go time.
But it goes both ways in the hood, though, because just like older homies, well, when we was young, we probably was like 18, 19, and a nigga snatch a female like 17 or something. Nigga 19, nigga snatch something like 17 and felt like it probably wasn't no crime. And then the same with the homegirls. They'll be 20-something, 27, 28, and they'll probably get a homie that's 22, 23. So it's like,
right.
It wasn't never no guidelines and rules on that shit inside the turf, homie.
Right. And see, the thing that I learned was, when I came to jail, I started going to the law library so I could learn certain things. And one of the things I learned, though, was rape, because it was so much around me that I wanted to learn about it. And I learned that if a girl said...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Hey, not to cut you off.
The court's just not really going...
Not to cut you off, the phone gonna hang up, so we'll get ready for part 2. But I just want to say this, to collaborate on with the rape. A lot of homies coming up, when homegirl said no, a lot of us didn't know they no meant no. We just thought we looked good, G'd up. This was just a way of her saying no, not to make herself look like a hoe, homie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But 89 on up, G stuff, not G stuff, and me and the big homeboy gonna keep sending it on the part 2.